In this video, we're going to be replacing the AC condenser in this 2015 Hyundai Sonata. Alright, before you start any AC work, especially a condenser, you want to take your vehicle to a mechanic or an automotive shop and have your AC system completely vacuumed out before you start breaking lines. We're going to loosen up this top piece here, a radiator support cover. I'm going to use a Phillips screwdriver, slowly back these out. So now we're on the inside and the passenger side of our bumper in the fender well area. We have 3 push clips, Phillips push clips, and we have one Phillips or 10mm bolt holding the bumper to the fender. So we're going to use a 10mm socket and take that bolt out. And then a Phillips screwdriver to remove these. All right, with a panel tool, take that out the rest of the way. Now here, you can rotate your wheel to make it a little easier for yourself, but you'll be rotating your wheel back and forth for left and right side. Just like to take the time, do it with the wheel straight. All right, on this side we have the same 3 clips and a 10mm or Phillips bolt up top. We're going to use a 10mm. And we'll get all 3 of these started, and then we'll come back with the panel tool and take them all the way out. Okay, now underneath we have a few bolts here, or Phillips. We're going to use the 10mm bolt option. We're going to take them right out. This one here is actually just the Phillips. Now this may be different than your car. Somebody may have replaced this. Whatever the case, if it's on the red, go ahead and take it out. Moving along, we have another 10mm of Phillips. And then one more down this end here. Okay, we've come to the driver's side of our bumper here. This is our bumper fender gap. What we're going to do is grab right on the inside here. You can see it's already starting to pull out. We're going to pull away from the fender. We're going to do that. We're going to try and separate the bumper from the bumper bracket that's in behind it here. Just going to continue to pull out. You're going to try and work your hand in a little further as you go. You don't want to put too much strain and bend the bumper here at a hard angle. So just continue to pull out. Sometimes the quicker the motion, the easier it comes off. And again, we'll have more clips underneath the headlight here. So just do the same thing, just work those clips off. Now if you're doing this by yourself, what you want to do is loosely seat that back in place. Go over to the other side and do the same process on the other side. Grab our fender right here. We're going to pull outwards. I'm going to do it one quick motion this time to show you the difference. All right, so we are going to keep working that out. And the same thing, our clips here underneath the headlight. Now for the most part, your bumper is free. Now, what we're gonna do is get to the front of the vehicle in the center and walk this bumper off. All right, so up top here, you may have to just kind of pry that upwards and off of that little tab on both sides. And then you can work your bumper straight off. Now at this point, you can either lean it on your leg and disconnect your fog lights, or if you've already done that, you can just go ahead and walk your bumper right off. If you've had to disconnect your fog lights and that's done, go ahead and grab your bumper from the center and just walk it straight back. To remove these plastic air deflectors, we have a couple of electrical clips going through them. So we're just going to use a panel tool on the front, pop these clips out. And on these here, if you can get behind them and squeeze the tabs, you can push them out. Just with the tool I have, that's a little difficult. Now that your electrical connection's free of this piece, we have two 10mm bolts, one down the bottom. All right, so on the bottom here, we have our 10mm bolt. We'll back that out. And straight up top, behind our headlight, we have another 10mm bolt. We'll take that out as well. Now this panel here, this air deflector, should be able to be moved and taken out. If you want to or feel the need to, this harness that goes through this deflector, you can remove that, just unplug the electrical connection, get that plug out of the way. You have a little bit more room to move that piece out. All right, so on the driver's side of our air dam here, our plastic piece, down the bottom, you'll see a 10mm bolt. You might not see it, it might be hidden behind this harness. I'm just gonna move that out of the way and take that 10mm out. Now if we come up to this top piece here, the top of the plastic piece, behind our headlight, you'll see a 10mm bolt in there. Take that one out as well. Okay, so now the driver's side, this can come out. Just gonna rotate it in, lift it straight out. Okay, so right here we have our high line and our low line. And this is where they connect to your AC condenser. We're gonna go ahead and take out, those are two 10mm nuts. All right, so now that you have your nuts off of the studs, you can go ahead and pull your lines straight up. They're gonna be in there with an O-ring, so you might have to use a little bit of pressure to pop them up. And we can just set the line back, out of the way slightly. So if you locate your condenser up in the top corners, left and right, you'll find these two tabs. These are going to be squeeze tabs. We're going to squeeze them together, pull our condenser forward. We'll do that on both sides. Okay, now on the driver's side, top corner, we have that squeeze clip here. Just go ahead and squeeze that together and pull our condenser forward. Okay, so on the driver's side, just follow it straight down. You'll see a black plastic clip. If you can get your hands or a tool underneath here, we're just going to push the condenser straight up and out like so. What that's going to do is give us a little bit of room to work on the passenger side. There is a bracket on the passenger side that goes back to where your AC lines are bolted to. We're trying to make a little room to clear that bracket. And what we'll do is we'll lift up the condenser from the bottom here, take it out of that bracket, and we'll see if we can get our condenser free. Again, we're just going to work it around the electrical connection here, the electrical harness that we have. So this metal bracket here with this sensor on the front, we're going to need to take this off so we can drop our condenser down. It's going to be a 10 millimeter or a Phillips. Usually have better luck with the 10 millimeters, so we'll take it out. Now, what I'm going to do, just so I don't lose it, and we're right here, is just put that bolt loosely back in place. Now we should be able to get a little bit more room to work our condenser out of the vehicle. And right out through the bottom. Okay, so we're going to install our new condenser. We're going to do the reverse of the removal. We're going to go in through the bottom. And we are going to work in the hoses on the passenger side first. Okay, just like that. Now watch out for your electrical harness. What we're going to do is drop the bottom of our condenser into position on this tab here. So on your radiator here, you have this T. On your condenser, you have this receiving tab. We're going to line those up on both the passenger and driver side. Once those are lined up, all right, now we can push our radiator clips through the condenser on both sides. All right, so we can remove this bolt we put in here. We can put our bracket back. All right, now we can install our high and low line. At this point, what you want to do on the inside here is make sure your O-ring is in good condition. I like to put just a little bit of lubricant, a little bit of oil on there before I put my lines together. Same thing on the low side. You want to get these as close as you can to fitting before you put your nut on there. Now we can go ahead and tighten down our nuts. And our two AC lines here are going to get torqued down to 7 foot-pounds. Okay, we can reinstall our air deflectors. Just going to slide them into position sideways. Once we get to a certain point, you'll be able to rotate it. There's a notch in the back here on the plastic that you're going to line up here. That'll allow you to rotate it into position. It's also going to go underneath the little hooks here. And that will allow you to put your one top bolt in. And then if you go straight down to the bottom, you can put our one more 10 millimeter bolt in place there. Down into the passenger side. We're going to lower it down sideways. We're going to keep it as far forward as we can. That way not doing any damage to our condenser. And just keep an eye on your electrical harness here. You're going to get it down to a point here. This will allow you to rotate when you match it up here. And we're just going to rotate it into position. All right, so once you've rotated it into position, we can start on the top, put our 10mm bolt in place. And we can put our other 10mm bolt in place down the bottom. And now from here, we can reconnect our electrical harness to this air dam. One clip in the bottom, one clip in the top, and then our electrical connection right there. Okay, so we're going to walk our bumper up to the vehicle. So now we're going to go ahead and reattach our fog lights and then put our bumper back on. We're going to align the center with our hood latch and put our radiator support cover over the hood latch. That should get us somewhere centered close. Now we can move over to our headlights. Let's see if our headlights fit in. They look pretty good on both sides. That gap here looks pretty good. So what we can do now is pick a side. We're going to start on this side here. We have some tabs on the bumper. These tabs need to go into the tabs underneath the headlight. We also have tabs down the side of the bumper. They will need to go into our bumper bracket on the fender. So we're going to lift our bumper up until those tabs look like they want to go into position. Same thing on the side. We're going to align those tabs. And we're just going to give it a good smack into position. And we'll do the same on the other side. Okay, so on this side, again, we're going to look for our tabs to go in underneath our headlight and our tabs to go on our bumper bracket and our fender. You may have to pull up slightly to get them into position. Looks pretty good. We'll give it a little hit. Looks good. All right, so up top here on our radiator support cover, we have our push clips to put back in place. We're going to put in our 10mm bolt. Okay, so on the inside of our bumper lip here, we have 1, 2, 3 push clips we can reinstall. These are going to hold our fender liner to the bumper. And then straight up from the third is where our 10mm bolt's going to go back in. We can put our push pins back in, holding our fender liner to our bumper on this side now. And then straight up from here is our 10mm bolt.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.